Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, reactions as INEC postponed governorship and state assembly elections. 3 dead, 85 people rescued as train crushes Lagos State government staff bus. ISWAP fighters kill 35 fishermen in Borno State. At least 36 people killed in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo attack. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. And now the details. Postponement of governorship and state assembly election across the country by the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has set tongues wagging in Kano as people expressed divergent views. While some believe that it is the right thing to do, others argue that it will make no difference as it will prolong the current economic hardship. Trust TV correspondent Idris Debrin reports.
Following the postponement of the election to March the 18th, some politicians say it is the right move considering the alleged irregularities identified during the just concluded presidential and National Assembly election.
There is no reason for INEC to be failing in terms of logistics operations. That's one. Secondly, there is also issue with the IREF. One of the reasons why I decided to contest for election is because of the confidence I have in the electoral process. I was given so much assurance by INEC and also by the presidency that the election will be free and fair and will not have issues. But then, one of the most important key component of the electoral process is that IREF, and we have seen how it has failed, on the day that is supposed to be optimal.
According to some voters in Kano, the postponement of the gubernatorial election will only add more pressure on the electorate, who would have wanted to finish voting once and for all. I think INEC should have allowed this election to just go ahead because we want to finish it once and for all. People are suffering. We just want to finish this election so that we know that we are over it. But while the Independent National Electoral Commission say the election is postponed to enable the commission reconfigure VIVA machines, these members of the Transition Monitoring Group in Kano are out on the streets to demand for peaceful election come March the 18th.
We have witnessed what happens during the presidential election. The killings, the destruction of properties are live. So we are anticipating the same thing to happen during the gubernatorial election. Politicians are making arrangements to disrupt the setting and the situation in the election so that we organize this campaign rally to tell the world that we don't want violation of rules and regulation.
At the moment, the Independent National Electoral Commission in Kano, like in many other parts of the country, have continued to assure voters that the election will be free, fair, credible and violence-free, and that voters should feel free to come out to exercise their civic responsibility on 18th March. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
In a similar vein, residents of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, say that they are disappointed with the postponement of the governorship and State House of Assembly elections. The residents who said that they were fully ready for the exercise were, however, greeted with the news of the shift by the Independent National Electoral Commission to March 18. Jimmy Azandi brings us their reactions in this report.
Benue residents who had looked forward to the post wanted an end to the suspicion and anxiety raised by the keen contest in the state. They spoke on the preparedness of some political parties and agreed that although the postponement is solely to consolidate INEC's preparations, it may however benefit other political parties.
Waking up this morning to understand that INEC has shifted the election to next Saturday on the 18th, in fact, we were disappointed. But of course, we don't have any choice than to wait for the day they have scheduled the election coming Saturday next week on the 18th. It will affect some political parties because I understand that from yesterday, in fact, a few days back, a lot of people, we are giving out money, mobilizing people, trying to buy some voters. But of course, now that the election has been shifted, they will have to go back to their work, to their drawing table to still do what they were doing. So to some extent, it has affected some political parties, especially those that were ready to use money to buy votes.
On the flip side, some residents feel the postponement might dampen the spirit of many legitimate voters who had looked forward to casting their votes this Saturday and lead to voter apathy in the state.
When I heard the announcement, I was somehow disappointed. But when I have a second thought about it, the election is all about Nigeria. It's not about political parties. And I look at it as the INEC want to do something that will favor everybody, all the political parties in Nigeria. And that is why they decide to honor the courts and then shift the election for the interest of Nigeria, not for a political party. And then all Nigerians will come out and then be patient and vote for the day the election is already rearranged to take place next Saturday.
Another category of Benue residents said the postponement has altered their calendar of activities, as the shift has kept many social and economic activities on the wait.
This election will affect so many things, just especially the school. Some schools are down based because of these elections. Now, I'm shifting it again. It will affect the academic of the school. So, I feel bad. They would have conducted this election and allowed the students to go at least do the remaining 3 weeks for our vacate. But shifting it, I see no any good reason at all of shifting it.
Either way, the electors will have to exercise patience with the process. For politicians, it is time to tighten loose ends for possible victory.
Now, still on reactions to INEC's postponement of the governorship and state assembly elections, residents of the Federal Capital Territory have also expressed divergent opinions, as captured by Trust TV's Noel Samson.
As soon as the Court of Appeal gave its nod to INEC to reconfigure the bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS on Wednesday evening, the Commission announced change of date for the governorship and state assembly election from March 11th to March 18th. The decision to postpone the election elicited diverse reactions from Abuja residents.
It's a good move because the election is fraught with a lot of controversies. So in order to resolve those controversies, it is best that things are done normally for the benefit of doubt. Because INEC wanted to reconfigure and the aggrieved parties actually did not want that move because they felt that, or they feel that the election results in the INEC data will be tampered with. So I think for the benefit of doubt, INEC postponing it and giving every party a level ground to douse all doubts is very much in place.
They took a rightful decision in order to, ameliorate and put in place on the issues of presidential election on the BVAS. So they have to give the governorship election time in order not to muddle things together.
However, some say the postponement shows that the Independent National Electoral Commission is not ready in the first place.
Now you are prepared to go and vote. Why would somebody now postpone it if the person does not have a negative intention? If you have a good intention for Nigerians, you should have allowed them to vote on that day. Why postponing it? There is no need of postponing it. So I see that they are trying to do one or two things, which I don't know what they are up to. But let's watch and see. What matters is let's do the right thing, let's vote. We shouldn't relax. We will still come out to vote as we did in presidential election as well.
I feel that the INEC are actually not yet ready for the people of Nigeria for the next election. That's the reason for the postponement. But it also has a side effect towards other people, and majorly students that they had shut down their schooling for a very long time. This will affect so many people's plan. And just in general, what we just want as Nigerians is that the elections should go peacefully, and then the BVAS and every other thing that INEC has failed in the presidential, they should try and correct for the next election.
I have already seen failure on it. Okay? For the government to postpone this governorship election, I've seen a bias on it already.
Many Nigerians said they will wait until the new date to do the needful so that credible leaders will emerge from a free, fair and credible elections. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the National Publicity Secretary of the Social Democratic Party, Rufus Ayenigba, said that going by the assurances given to all political parties by INEC chairman at a meeting before they announced the postponement of the March 11 election, there are no reasons for anyone to worry about the safety of the materials pertaining to the presidential election that is in dispute. He said INEC will require a minimum of 3 to 5 days to carry out the reconfiguration exercise of the beavers, which makes the March 11th initially scheduled impossible. In a separate remark, the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Committee spokesman Yunus Atanko did not oppose the date shift, saying that his party's concern is for INEC not to tamper with the figures or configuration of the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections. On a sad note now, 84 persons have been admitted at Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Ikeja, after they were rescued from an accident which involved a moving train and a state government bus. Already, 3 persons, 2 female adults and 1 young man died in the ghastly accident which occurred on Thursday morning.
At least 2 staff members of the Lagos State government have died and several others injured in a collision between a train and a staff bus on the rail track at Ikeja along Shogunle area of the state. The BRT, which was convening staff of the state government to work, wanted to cross the rail line when it was trapped by the moving train. Giving an update on the rescue work, the public relations officer of the National Emergency Management NIMA in the Southwest region, Ibrahim Familoye, confirmed 3 persons dead and 84 others injured in the unfortunate incident. Familoye said the train rammed into the bus that got trapped was on the rail line.
We have been able to recover 2 female adults and 1 young man was recovered dead. Because of the incident, we cannot confirm, but what we heard was that they tried to flag down the bus from accessing the rail line. We learned he didn't listen, which we cannot confirm.
With that combined effort, we are able to rescue 84 people alive, and the 84 were taken to Lagos State Teaching Hospital, where they are receiving adequate treatment. Adequate treatment in all ratifications, in terms of tests, in terms of treatments, in terms of management. And at last, from the feedback that I got, everybody, they are doing their bit to save the lives of the casualties.
On my way back home, when we asked the driver to stop, they were waving flag for him to stop and he didn't stop. Even the last man woman that was there had to eat his bus to stop.
The BRT driver?
Yes, the BRT driver to stop. So there was a small shuttle bus. So the shuttle bus ran first. So he was about to maneuver. Before he could do it, that was how the accident just happened.
He said officials of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, NIMA, Police and Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, those from the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, and a team from the Nigerian Railway Corporation were on ground to offer help to the victims and direct traffic.
At least 35 displaced persons who went on a fishing expedition have been shot dead by the fighters of Islamic State of West Africa in Ngala local government area of Borno State. ISWAP fighters had warned the fishermen to stay away from their zones before they unleashed terror on them on Wednesday. A local who escaped from the attack said that the terrorists surrounded the fishermen near the riverbanks and opened fire on them, killing at least 35 people while many others were missing. The survivor told our correspondent that the incident occurred at Mogdolo under Ngala local government area bordering Dikwa village, adding that unfortunately all the victims were IDPs from Dikwa town. He said that the gunmen rode on motorcycles from a nearby forest and surrounded them at riverbanks. Corroborating the account, Zagazola Makama, a counterinsurgency and security analyst in the Lake Chad region, said dozens of the terrorists riding on motorcycles stormed the field and began shooting sporadically. He said that 9 among the victims managed to flee, with 3 of them sustaining bullet wounds. Now, since the beginning of the cash swap policy, which drastically reduced currency in circulation, point-of-sale operators across the country have increased transaction charges for customers using the service. Some of the operators and customers in Lagos lamented the hardship occasioned by the policy and called on the government to address the situation. The report.
Few days after the 2023 presidential election, specifically on Friday, the 3rd of March, the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled out that old 1,000 Naira note, 500 Naira note, along with the earlier reintroduced 200 Naira note remain legal tender with the new note until 31st of December 2023. However, despite the Supreme Court order, many banks in the country have refused to dispense cash to their customers, both inside the banking halls and also at the automated teller machine, ATM. To this end, Nigerians seeking to get cash for their daily transaction are left to the mercy of point-of-sale operators, POS, who use this opportunity to increase transaction charges to those who come to them for cash. At Ogba area of Lagos State, some customers said the POS charges are now a case of using money to buy money from instead of paying for transaction. They also said traders are witnessing an all-time low in patronage due to non-acceptance of the old Naira note.
If you don't have no money, you can't enter vehicle. And it's for POS now. If I want to use 2,000 Naira now, go to POS now. If it has there now, they will say they need to collect 700 Naira. 700 Naira, 600 Naira out of 2,000. So what remain? Nothing remain for you again. So things are hard. So I don't even know what to say. It's very hard. If you want to collect 5,000 now, they need to collect 1,500 out of your money, your own money.
People around us, all these our national union transporter, they are not collecting the money from us. And the filling station also, they reject the money from us. Instead of collecting cash, they are collecting POS to collect money from us. So that is why we don't collect it. And people that are selling market, they reject the money.
The old money, we are not seeing somebody my business. People want to transfer. People don't want to collect the old money back from us, and they ask us to collect it. So that has been the problem. No sales. Because of that, we cannot buy, we cannot sell food. We are hungry.
For POS service, people now they are doing it here. He collect all money come. Now nobody collect the money. Some people will say, let me meet all these motor people, whether they will collect it. And they did not collect the money. What do you want us to do? Please, President, all you people, governor or presidents, please, we are begging you. You are the one that is supposed to talk. President, please.
Citizens are of the opinion that President Muhammad Buhari should address the nation on the Supreme Court order on the circulation of the old Naira notes of 1,000 Naira and 500 Naira with the new ones, as many Nigerians, especially the traders and transporters, are waiting for these directives, or that of the CBN governor, in order to accept the old note.
Elsewhere, bank customers in Jos, the Plateau State capital, are complaining about account debits without actual payment or refund of the money during transactions. The customers who trooped to the banks to register their complaints say that the money debited by the bank neither dropped to the receiver accounts nor reversed to the sender's accounts for days. Ado Musa completes the story.
These are bank customers queuing, waiting for the bank officials to attend to their complaints. Most of their complaints border on online transactions where accounts were debited but never paid or reversal alert received. They said the situation is inflicting hardship on their businesses and preventing them from buying food items for their defendants. Some of the customers share their experiences. I am a laborer. I work for someone who said he had transferred money to my account, but I have not received, and the bank has not refunded the money to him. So, that is why we are here, and the security man has refused to allow us enter to lay our complaint. I am a builder. I transfer money to my workers, but all of them said they haven't received the money, and the money has not been reversed. We have been coming here for days, and yet we have not been able to lay our complaints because they have refused us entry into the bank. This is unfair. My complaints are numerous. I have been coming here for the past 5 days and never achieved my goal. Mobile transfer is not working at all. I transfer money to someone and my account was debited, but he is yet to receive the money. We are really suffering. The customers, however, call on the government to do the needful to ease their sufferings. We can't continue to bear the situation. We are pleading with the government to get us out of the woods. It hasn't been easy. Something should be done, please. My call on the government is to listen to our cry. Those under our care are also suffering. We are begging the government to ease the situation. Government decision is always final and can do everything possible to ease the situation. While complaining about poor mobile transaction, the customers, however, want the government to allow the use of all Naira notes as directed by the Supreme Court. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, as the Naira crunch bites harder, traders are now exploring other options to receive payments from their customers. One of the options is the use of POS agents who in turn charge a fee for the transactions, but pressure on internet infrastructure has increased the rate of failed transactions. Zainab Karai reports.
As the Naira scarcity persists, traders and customers have been forced to resort to POS transactions between buyers and sellers. However, cases of failed online transactions that are caused by traffic and ineffective internet services have made customers reluctant to use e-transfers as a payment option. Though many lauded the cashless policy targets of the Apex Bank, the infrastructure placed to make this possible has been questionable.
One of the customers that came to the shop this morning, I am the one that gave him 100 Naira to pay for the space where he parked his car. And later he did not buy the goods again because he was trying to make the transaction and it was not going. The one I saw there before yesterday, the one I saw yesterday, even the one that they debited me, and I did not get the money.
I have transferred almost 3 people now that the money did not go. And those people now, they are customers. They have gone. It will show paid, transaction okay, but money is not in my account. I went to the bank to complain now. They say it's 10 days for me to see my money.
People who do say Gary, say like all this village stuff, they don't listen to you when you talk about transfer. They want to see cash in their hand. You pay, you go.
According to traders in the market, the cashless policy has affected their daily patronage and by implication, their income.
Look at the market now. You cannot see people in the market. Everywhere is just door. People are not entering the market. There's no cash. No cash in the market. No cash to enter market. Somebody buys something, the person cannot go with what he or she has bought. Because without us getting the transfer, we cannot release our goods.
POS will collect 300, 400, 200 for just 1,000 Naira. Some of the POS. So how much are we making in a day? Our business is not even moving.
To even withdraw and deposit sometimes is very, very difficult. The network is bad. Most of the bank, you tried more than 3 times, they will debit the person. There's no way you can even, and for them to even get access to the bank, again, at least there's another problem there again.
Though the Supreme Court has ruled that the old 1,000, 500 and 200 Naira notes will remain legal tender till December 31st, 2023. Nigerians are yet to get any form of relief as they await the go-ahead from the Central Bank and President Buhari for the full implementation of the Supreme Court's directive. Zainab Karai, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, for an expert opinion on the Supreme Court judgment extending validity of the old Naira notes as legal tender till December 31, and the seeming silence of President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, a professor of law at Bayero University, Kano, Awolu Yadudu, brings in more perspectives.
Yeah, well, as for the silence of the CBN, obviously it is regrettable. Their lawyer in court had made a promise that they will obey the order. It has been 4 or 5 days now. They haven't said anything. Indeed, what seems to be their position was that actually they have instructed that no commercial bank shall accept or circulate the denominations of 500 and 1,000. Now, obviously, this is most unfortunate. It is, as I stated, a brazen show of disrespect for the court order, and it doesn't speak well of the agency in observing the rule of law. It is unhelpful. It is very regrettable that an agency of the rank of the CBN can not only keep quiet and not observe a court order issued by the Supreme Court, but go ahead even to order contrary to what the order has been. This is unfortunate. Again, I had and I cannot verify this. I understand that all of our affiliation has been reported to say that it is none of his business, the court order. If indeed he had said something to this effect, that would be the worst case of a disobedience and impunity to a court order by the highest law officer of the Federation, the one who should be in front of making sure that a court order, however low the court, the court is obeyed and observed, but not to disrespect it, and to even make a statement that shows lack of empathy and lack of respect for the high judicial organ of the state. As for, I don't know what the presidency has said, but so far as the CBN and the Attorney General, we have had reportedly what their positions have been, and it is most unfortunate.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at why number of female legislators is shrinking. Details of this and more. Welcome back to the News Hour. Let's take a look at some of the major stories again. Reactions as INEC postponed governorship and state assembly elections. 3 dead, 85 people rescued as train crushes Lagos state government staff bus. The Department of State Services says that there are orchestrated plans to cause a total breakdown of law and order in the country. The security agency disclosed this in a statement signed by its spokesperson, Peter Afunaya, on its Twitter page. According to the DSS, the plot is designed for execution after the governorship and state assembly elections. The DSS called on all Nigerians to abide by the rules of the Electoral Act or be ready to face the wrath of the law. The federal government has commended the ongoing construction of roads linking different communities within the northeast sub-region of Yobe, Adamawa, Bauchi and Gombe axis. Government made the commendation at an unscheduled visit to the project site in Kirfi local government area of Bauchi State to ascertain the level of work by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Adamu Imam reports.
While commending the level of work at the site in Kirpi local government area of the state, the Minister Saidia Farouk Umar says the road project is instrumental to the development of the region and urged residents of the benefiting communities to cooperate with people working at the site to enable the government achieve the goals of the projects.
See, they are working from morning to evening, about 6 p.m. and they are next without telling them. I did not notify them that I was coming. I wanted to take them by surprise, and I met them inside. So it's very, very commendable. And I think we are going to the time. This is 54-kilometer road linking
The minister, who noted that the length of the Kirifi-Gombe-Abba road is about 54 kilometers with bridges, also said that the road is among the 4 major projects approved by the Federal Executive Council, with construction ongoing simultaneously. The site engineer, while speaking to journalists, assures that they will ensure that the project is delivered within the stipulated time. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Military High Command on Thursday revealed that its troops deployed for the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections foiled planned attacks by terrorists and political thugs in Kogi and Borno State. It specifically said that 8 heavily armed political thugs who were on mission to disrupt the exercise were nabbed at Okehi town in Okene local government area of Kogi State on the election day. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Musa Damadami, disclosed this at a press briefing at the Defense Headquarters, Abuja. Damadami also revealed that some terrorists planned to attack some locations in Kawa, Gamboru, and Mongonu, all in Borno State, before the troops carried out an air raid following an intelligence report. He said that the troops recovered 3 pump-action guns, 2 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles, 6 locally made assorted guns, and 2 daggers. Ahead of the governorship and State House of Assembly elections scheduled to hold on Saturday, March 18th, some electorates in Yola have called on Independent National Electoral Commission in Adamawa to strictly adhere to the electoral law while discharging its obligation. They said that the call became necessary to avoid what they described as injustice on the part of INEC for allegedly refusing to transmit election results during the presidential and National Assembly elections. Salis Lawan reports.
According to them, the performance of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) during the presidential and National Assembly election was not encouraging, other than more need to be done, especially in the areas of respecting the electoral law.
It's to enlighten our people on how to cast their vote, to be able to secure their vote, so that they won't be able to manipulate them, so that they can be able to know how it's being done and all. I believe from the lecture we have today from the program, I believe they've been able to enlighten, they've been able to acquire more knowledge on how to go on the general election for the governorship.
All election nearing programs start from the unit. So at least we call on them, we rely on them, the agents at least, to be very vigilant during the electioneering programs.
Some also believe it is not only the responsibility of the electoral body to ensure free, fair and credible elections, as the citizens also have a role to play.
Election is the process by which voters select candidate of their choice among many candidates through an open, secret ballot.
Faɗakarwan gaskiya ya zo a daidai. We have
to put in our best to protect our right within the ambit of the law. As we all have the right to vote, we also have the same right to protect the votes. Stakeholders are also hopeful that the governorship and State House of Assembly election will be devoid of rancor and acrimony. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
One of the things that Nigerians will remember the outgoing Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom for is the fact that he made headlines through his outburst on the farmers' herders crisis in Nigeria and as a member of the G5 PDP governors. As he winds down his second term as governor, Ortom lost his senatorial ambition and failed to win his state for Labour Party, a political platform he professed before the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections. As Benue residents head to the poll on March 18, they say that the state is one to watch out for in the governorship and State House of Assembly elections. Jimmy Azande reports.
Some residents of the state who rated Governor Tom poor in terms of infrastructure and staff welfare are watching and waiting to speak through the ballot. They also said following the February 25th defeat, the governor is making frantic efforts to win the governorship seat for his preferred candidate and party.
Has learned his lessons from the presidential and National Assembly's elections. Things that have already been done. One, in the Sankra political axis, we are in three local government areas where there had been a ban on the use of motorcycles and the brand of the motor vehicle popularly known as Doknyash. That ban was lifted yesterday. So many people have been given employment letters beginning from Monday this week to yesterday. A lot of people have been given employment letters.
But to many eligible voters, it is too late for Governor Tom to change the wishes of the Benue people who have already made up their minds on who to vote for irrespective of last-minute campaigns.
The nature of Reverend Father Hyacinthe Omemalia has caused a lot of joy. Should I say joy? Should I say a lot of political miscalculation and calculation, because a lot of people are not even thinking of politics. A lot of people are seeing the aspect of a reverend gentleman like Father Hyacinthe Omemalia coming to cleanse Benue State from the shackles of poverty, underdevelopment, and insecurity. So many things are factored in the candidature of Father Alia, and with the hope that everybody in Benue State is seen and have known that he can do it.
It is left to be seen what comes out of the governorship and state assembly elections in Benue State, vis-a-vis the performance of the governor.
From every indication and all indices on the ground, I can tell you the people of Benue State are fully ready to come out en masse. So far, so good. I can't see any issues. I don't see any fracas. All I believe is a peaceful election.
Many Benue voters say they will exercise their civic responsibility to usher in a new administration.
Despite the consistent clamor for increased democratic representation and equal opportunities for women in Nigeria, the feminine gender had an abysmal outing at the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman takes a look at the shrinking number of women coming to the 10th Assembly after the 2023 National Assembly election and what the future holds for female political aspirations.
There is currently 20 female legislators at the two chambers of the National Assembly, 13 in the House of Representatives and 7 senators in the upper legislative chamber. Incidentally, the results announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) indicate that none of the 7 female serving senators returned to the red chamber, while 3 women were elected to the Senate during the last election. At the House of Representatives, with 13 female lawmakers, only 7 were able to secure their return, even as 7 women from different political parties made it to the Green Chamber to join the returning 7 to the 10th Assembly. Also, out of the 18 presidential candidates that slug it out in the 2023 presidential contests, only 1 female candidate, Oji Chichi, of Allied People's Movement APM, got her name on the ballot. Though INEC statistics show that a total of 92 female ran for the Senate and 288 for the House of Representatives, less than 10% eventually made it to the National Assembly. With the raging lobby for 35% affirmative action and intensified advocacy during Women National and International Days for enhanced female representation, in addition to growing number of female voters in Nigeria, the clamor for equal opportunities and women political representation could be said to be retrogressing. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Women in Bauchi State have commended their level of participation and involvement in the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections. They have also reaffirmed their desire to do the same during the governorship and State House of Assembly polls on Saturday, March 18th. The women made this known in an interview with Trust TV in Bauchi when they noted that such improved participation is despite the challenges they face as women.
According to them, during the last presidential and National Assembly elections, women in Nigeria participated in large number as part of their contribution towards electing good leaders that can turn around the fortunes of the nation for good. This, they said, is evident in some polling units across Bauchi State where the population of women outnumber that of their male counterparts.
Women were encouraged to always participate in the voting process. Every woman wanted their vote to count, and women are becoming more enlightened. It's not like before that her place is in the kitchen, but now they are becoming more informed, and this time around they were told that their vote will count, that the electoral process will be free, transparent. So a lot of women were encouraged and prompted them to come out.
Women are enlightened, not like before. The women, they don't know their left from their right. But a lot of us now are enlightened that voting is our right. Nobody should tell us it's not our right.
Others share their views on women participation during the voting process and the likely impact on the overall electoral process.
Most of the women, they are promising. One. Secondly, they are very easy to convince. So for this reason, I think that's why most of the politicians, they decided to use them during electioneering campaign. Because if you give them a token, you convince a woman to go and vote for you.
They are always in support of development of the family, of the state and the nation. So anytime they are called upon, in fact, not even in politics, in anything you do, if you ask a woman to do this, they are always happy to do that.
Women mostly go out because they are easily convinced and they believe that, whoever they are going to vote will work for their good. They believe in good governance, they believe in, the people that they want to vote. I think that's why they are always coming out in large numbers.
However, despite their numbers and contributions to the electoral process, the women say they are still left behind. To this end, they want more elective and appointive positions, especially in the new governments that will emerge at all levels.
Now, although the 2023 Senate and House of Representatives elections have been concluded and winners presented with certificates of return, issues around female representation in both chambers of the National Assembly remain, as the number of women seem to have reduced in the coming 10th Assembly. Against the backdrop of the 2023 International Women's Day, our reporter takes a look at the celebration vis-a-vis concerns of gender equity in the nation's legislature. The report.
The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Constitution Review in February 2022 recommended the creation of 111 additional legislative seats in the National Assembly solely for women, beginning from the 2023 general elections. The recommendations were to affect sections 48, 49, 71, and 91, which deal with the composition of the Senate, the House of Representatives, and State House of Assembly. While there has been a noticeable decline in female representation of women with each electoral cycle, their fortunes appear to have worsened during the just concluded February 25th poll. Results from the poll revealed that all female incumbent senators will sadly be absent at the 10th National Assembly, while only 3 senators-elect are women. On the flip side, out of 324 candidates for the House of Representatives election, only 12 female lawmakers receive return certificates from Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Some of the returning female members of the 9th Assembly that secured return tickets include Benny Lar from Plateau State, Miriam Onwa from Imo State, Goodhead Boma from Rivers State, and Khadijat Bukar Abba Ibrahim from Yobe State. Currently, Nigeria has no female governor, with only 5 female senators. Various reports on the Gender Equality Index have consistently ranked Nigeria extremely low, both globally and in Africa. The country still has a long way to go with regards to constitutional reforms in the area of gender equality, especially on women's representation in parliament, which is among the lowest in the world. This could get worse based on the new list of candidates for the next parliament. As the nation marks the 2023 International Women's Day, it is expected that everyone can actively support and embrace gender equity within their own sphere of influence, especially in politics.
The governorship candidate of the Labour Party in Delta State, Ken Pella, says that he is not working for any political party but the Labour Party. Pella, in a media conference in Asaba, maintained that he is in the race to win the election with the support of his party and aims to take Delta, an oil-rich state, to its rightful position in the League of States in the country. It was rumored that he had gone into alliance with the PDP with the aim of convincing his supporters to vote for the PDP.
I will take this opportunity to address some of the issues that are being raised that are calculated to confuse the obedient family. At a point, it was said that I, as the governorship candidate for the Labour Party, was a front for the former governor of Delta State in case his protege, the person who was sponsoring, did not win his case in the Supreme Court. The next rumor that came was that I was a front for the candidate for the APC, who is the current Deputy Senate President of the country.
Time now for us to take a look at business updates presented by Chiamaka Nwafo.
Nigeria's crude oil output rose to 1.3 million barrels per day in February, the highest in 13 months. This is according to the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission's NUPRC latest oil production status report. Data from the upstream regulatory body shows that the country's oil production increased by 39% from 937,766 barrels per day in September. On a month-on-month basis, Nigeria's crude oil output rose by 48,154 barrels per day from 1.26 million barrels per day in January. Trade transactions between Nigeria and other countries in 2022 stood at 52.38 trillion naira. The National Bureau of Statistics discloses in a report titled Foreign Trade in Goods Statistics. The NBS added that total imports amounted to 25.59 trillion naira, while exports 26.79 trillion naira. This indicated that the country recorded a 1.2 trillion naira trade surplus as more Nigerian products were purchased in the international community. The report added that in the fourth quarter of 2022, Nigeria's total trade stood at 11.72 trillion naira, from which total exports stood at 6.35 trillion naira, while total imports were 5.36 trillion naira. Meanwhile, products that were re-exported to other countries were valued 199.59 billion naira, representing 3.14% of total exports. And finally, in stocks, it was a bullish session on the floor of the Nigerian stock market on Thursday, as uptrend extended marginally to second straight sessions after flat close on Tuesday. The All-Share Index grew by 0.04% to close at 55,233.02 points. Market capitalization was up by 0.04% to close at 30.409 trillion naira, adding 11 billion naira. The market broke close negative as 12 equities emerged as gainers against 19 equities that declined in their share prices. An aggregate of 311.5 million units of shares were traded in 3,627 deals, valued at 3 billion naira. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Nwafo.
Now, on the foreign scene, at least 36 people were killed during an overnight attack on a village in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. A local official and the head of a civil society group on Thursday said that the assailants were believed to be members of the Allied Democratic Forces, a Ugandan armed group based in Eastern DRC that has pledged allegiance to ISIL and wages frequent deadly raids on villages. The attack targeted the village of Mukondi, 30 kilometers south of the city of Beni in North Kivu province, an area that is not only plagued with rebel activity but has been under military administration since 2021 in an attempt to restore order. Provincial Governor Kali Nzanzu Kasivita said on Twitter at least 36 people had been killed in the attack, which began on Wednesday evening. The head of a local civil society group, Mumbere Limbadu, gave a provisional death toll of 44, including women, children, and the elderly, and said that several villagers were still missing. Cyclone Freddy is expected to make landfall again in Mozambique later this week after it struck Madagascar for a second time on Monday. It killed 4 people on the Indian Ocean island, bringing Freddy's death toll to 21. The storm first wreaked havoc in southeastern Africa in late February and has displaced thousands in both countries. It may become the longest-lasting storm on record as it has been spinning over the Indian Ocean for 32 days. The World Meteorological Organization says it is rare for a storm to make such a loop, describing it as meteorologically remarkable, given that Cyclone Freddy has periodically weakened over the last 32 days, and the WMO says it will take several months to evaluate whether it has broken John's record. Now let's take a look at sports updates with Adeni Ajishafe.
Nigeria's under-18 male handball team started their IHF Trophy Intercontinental Championship campaign with a 46-30 win over Nicaragua in San Jose, Costa Rica. The team started the match with a first-half 19-9 comfortable win. Nicaragua tried to turn the match around for themselves when star player Zemon Sinsla forced the Nigerian team into turnovers to get 50% 7-meter shot efficiency, among other improvements. The master stroke tactics of Nigeria's manager, Coach Emeka Namani, kept them at bay to rally back to take control as Nigeria won the second half 27-21. Nigeria has 62 shots overall, with a 74% all shot of efficiency against Nicaragua 56%, with the team essentially winning the match through 6 meters, near shots, wing shots, and more of fast breaks. And in football, Nigeria under-23 boys, the Olympic Eagles, will now host their Guinean counterparts at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, on 22nd of March in the final round of qualifiers for the 2023 Africa Under-23 Cup of Nations. The game was earlier scheduled for Lagos Salami Stadium, Adamasigwa, Ibadan. To reach this stage of the series, the Olympic Eagles defeated Tanzania Under-23 team 3-1 on aggregate in October 2022, winning 2-0 at Lagos Salami Stadium, Ibadan, after both teams played 1-1 in the first leg in Dar es Salaam. The winner over 2 legs between Nigeria and Guinea will advance to the final of the African Under-23 Cup of Nations, scheduled to be hosted by Morocco later in the year. It is also at this tournament in Morocco that African flag bearers at next year's Men's Olympic Football Tournament in Paris will emerge. The return leg against the Guineans will be in Morocco on Monday, 27th March 2023. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
And with that, we wrap up the news hour for tonight. But you can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.